When I was just 6 years old, my teacher drew a line down the middle of the blackboard, labeling one side good and the other side bad. My name? It stayed on bad. Always. That day I believed I was dumb, and it haunted me for years. That moment stuck with me, shaping the way I saw myself and the world around me. I wasn't just a kid struggling in school. I was the kid who wasn't good enough. And that was a label I just couldn't shake off. But today, I'm here to show you how pain can become your power. You see, it wasn't much later that I learned trauma wasn't the end of my story. It was actually the beginning, something much bigger. So let me explain by taking you on a journey. Imagine being 6 years old and believing you're worthless. Not for a moment, but for years. And I'm not talking about a fleeting thought or a little bad day. I'm talking about a belief so deep, it forms the foundation of how you see yourself and the world. When I was labeled bad, it wasn't just about school. It was about how I started seeing myself in every situation, everywhere. From that day on, I believed I wasn't just a kid who struggled with school. I was fundamentally not good enough. And as I grew up, that belief followed me wherever I went. It held me back in ways I couldn't even understand at the time. Simple things like deciding what to wear, making friends, or even speaking up when I needed to for myself became loaded with fear. What will they think? Will I do something wrong? Because I didn't believe I was capable of getting anything right. Why bother trying in the first place? I already decided I was going to fail. I remember my dad tried to teach me something really simple. He wanted to teach me that a half plus a half equals a glorious 1. So he got really smart here. He showed me a whole apple, 1 apple. He asked me, how many apples? So I said 1 apple. But then it got complicated. He then cut the apple in half and proceeded to show me how half an apple plus a half an apple equals 1 whole apple. I just couldn't see it. I couldn't get it. I couldn't grasp the concept. But little did I know at the time that it wasn't really about apples. It was about my deep-seated belief in my inadequacy of how useless I was that was just stuck in my head. It was sunk. All this what I could think about at that time was, this is too hard. And I convinced myself that I was bad and dumb. And I wasn't even willing to try because all my thinking energy was focused on how hopeless I was at that moment. I barely heard what my father was saying at the time because I just kept on thinking these self-sabotaging thoughts. I'm no good, I'm useless. It was like a broken record that never stopped playing. So I failed over and over again, like that broken record. But here's the twist, my friends. I wasn't failing because I was dumb. I was failing because I never gave myself a chance. I never gave myself the permission to just try. I was too scared of failing, which is exactly what I did for the next 11 years in my school life. Fast forward 11 years, I'm 17 years of age, sitting in an economics exam. This moment would change everything. It wasn't just another test. It was a crossroads of years of self-doubt and a new beginning for me. My heart raced as I turned the pages. Every question a reminder of the labels that I carried since childhood. But as I worked through the exam, something shifted. It wasn't just about answering questions anymore. It was about proving to myself that I was capable. This moment wasn't just a test on paper. It was a test on my belief in myself. At this point, I'd been through years of academic struggles. But when I entered this school, which was more focused on me as a person and my personal growth rather than just some marks, something remarkable shifted inside me. For the first time, I was surrounded by people who genuinely believed in my potential, something that I'd never dared to see in myself. They encouraged me. They challenged my doubts and showed me what it meant to be seen for more than just my flaws? Is it possible there was something more to me than what I was seeing? But there was still one huge hurdle, my own belief that I wasn't capable of succeeding. That was still stuck in my head. This particular economics teacher also was not the nicest guy. But this point in my life, I was mature enough to divorce my ill feelings towards this guy and just focus on the job at hand, on the subject, understand it, work hard, and try my best on the exam. The other kids in the class were just too focused on demonizing the teacher rather than focusing on the job at hand. But for some reason, for the first time in my life, I actually did stay focused on the goal, which was just to do well on the exam. Perhaps it might have been the encouragement from the other people around me. They had a belief in me and in my potential. Or maybe it was my decision to just let go of the resentment towards the teacher and get on with the job. Whatever the reason was, I pushed past my self-doubt and poured my energy into preparing. And when I saw the results, it paid off in ways I never imagined. So then came the day of the economics exam. Studied hard, but I was still filled with that doubt plaguing me. When the teacher handed back my test, however, I saw that I got a grade of 99.5%. But my first thought was the teacher deducted half a lousy mark for a spelling mistake. Something trivial, and he refused to give me 100% because he wouldn't give it to any student. But then in that moment, I didn't care about the missing half a point anymore. The light bulb finally went off. For the first time, I wasn't concerned about the grade. I was finally seeing the truth. I wasn't dumb. I had the brain. I am capable. And that was a profound shift. I realized that this experience wasn't about proving my self-worth to anyone else. It was about proving it to me, to believe in myself. It was the first time that I saw that I was good enough. I was enough. What if I told you that everything you've been through, the pain, the failures, could be in fact your greatest gift? After high school, I didn't have it all figured out. It wasn't smooth sailing. I stumbled through college, failed classes, and struggled to find my footing. But each failure was a life lesson. I began to finally see that failure no longer defines who I am. Instead, it signals the need for course corrections. This is one of the biggest breakthroughs in my life because life is like a yacht. It doesn't sail in a straight line. It zigzags, adjusting its course as it encounters winds, waves, and obstacles. And much like navigating through choppy waters, our failures guide us in making those course corrections to get to our destination. Through perseverance, we get closer to our goals, even if we don't always achieve the exact outcome we first envisioned. It's through our failures that we get closer to what truly matters. I eventually found my passion for teaching, coaching, and somatic healing, all of which revolve around bringing out the best in my clients. When I started helping others, I began to see the profound impact my own negative experiences had on my ability to help my clients in a radical way. My trauma, my belief in my inadequacy equipped me with a unique understanding. I knew exactly what it meant to struggle and to fail, and to believe that you couldn't do it. And that became my key to helping others break free from those same beliefs. Looking at my clients is like looking in a mirror. I am them and they are me. That allowed me to offer empathetic and strategic advice because I've experienced the weight of failure firsthand. I deeply understand their struggles, and that enables me to guide them both compassionately and with practical solutions that reduce their reactivity to past traumas. But the real breakthrough came when I realized that trauma isn't just something that breaks you. It's something that, when embraced, can actually build you. It teaches you resilience if you're willing to learn from it, if you're open to it. Trauma can become the source of strength. It can become a teacher when we're ready it shows us how to turn our pain into purpose. So I started using my experiences with trauma to empower others. The very things I once saw as a barrier in my own life, as a weakness, became my gifts and my strengths in my coaching. I could connect with people in a way that others couldn't because I'd been there. I could show them a way out. Not because I read about it in a book, even though I've read a ton of books over the years and I've done a lot of training, but it's because I lived it. So let's turn the table around here just for a moment. I ask you, what if your trauma and your pain and your struggles weren't curses, but they were blessings in disguise, waiting for you to unlock their true potential in you? Trauma isn't just a curse. It's a blessing in disguise. The pain you've been through, it's the key to unlocking your greatest potential. You see, the very things that you've carried around you for too long, your failures, your struggles, your trauma, they actually hold the power to transform you, to make you stronger, more resilient, and more capable than you'd ever dreamed possible. The question is, are you ready to uncover it? To step into your power and use those experiences you've had, not as a burden, but as a catalyst for your own life transformation. Because the truth is, everything you've been through has prepared you for this moment. And it's up to you to decide, are you ready to turn your pain into power? If this resonates with you, then I invite you, take the next first step today. Click on the link below to schedule in a free introductory session with me. Together we'll uncover the hidden blessings in your story and start your journey towards the life you deserve. Now's the time to transform your pain into power. And if you haven't already seen this before, click up here and watch the next video on how trauma works within you and how you can release it today.